welcome to the next episode of Exclusive, the podcast produced and hosted by Paper Street Web Design and Marketing. As always, I'm your host, Nancy, and today I'm joined, but not one, but not two, but three guests today. So as you can imagine, we've got some big news that we wanted to share today. Today, I'm joined by Pete, our CEO.
Hello.
I'm joined by Alex, our Vice President and Internet Marketing Director, and Allison, our Content Director. Hi, everyone.
morning.
Thank you for joining us.
Hello, Nancy.
Hello.
With that big of an introduction, we're going to dive right into a very important announcement for basically anyone who's pretty active with their website and any sort of digital marketing that they may have for their law firm, business, or anything like that. So in our world, everybody's eyes are always on Google and AI. And when an announcement comes out that pairs both of those together, everybody's got to listen. All right, so let's dive right into what we'll be talking about today. So let's get started with the first and foremost, big question. What is changing with AI search at Google and Google Ads?
I'll take this one first off. AI mode is going to be the default mode in Google, whether you like it or not. The new Google AI mode is going to place out the summaries, those recommendations, interactive answers that you're seeing now. If you actually click on the little button that says AI mode, that's going to become the default mode. So traditional search is going to be going away for a lot of queries. It's going to happen over the time. I imagine that it's going to start rolling out this summer. And then by the end of the year, it'll probably all rolled out for a lot of queries. So instead of showing, 10 blue links with ads at the top, traditional search and then more ads, traditional search, you're going to get AI summaries and results all into the system. What that means is you're going to be competing a lot of attention. So there's going to be AI generated summaries, map and local results are going to be in there, sponsored search placements, sidebar resources, related questions, everything like that. But the overall visual tone is going to change and there's going to be a lot of summaries.
All right, so it sounds like the visuals are going to be different, but what does that really mean for marketing?
Yeah, it means that the way that you're used to seeing Google is going to look different, right? But that classic ranking number one mindset is really going to become a thing of the past. It's going to become less and less relevant as we all get more familiar with this, new setup. Visibility is going to become less on a single ranking position and more about how your firm appears across multiple channels of the search experience. So it's really like a more broad goal than just being, 1, 2, and 3 in placement. So it's a real change in mindset for how search has been for the last decade or so.
The details for clients that may not be as familiar with what we've talked about with ranking and things like that.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, again, not to reiterate or belabor anything that both Pete and Allison have just mentioned, but this is the biggest change, through their own admission from Google since the 1990s. I mean, it's going to change up, how much we all know traditional search to be. So yeah, some of the details that I think everybody really needs to pay attention to, and these are really, really critical, mission critical. Strong reviews are something that we here at Paper Street have been pushing since the early 2000s, candidly. We have to get testimonials. You almost can't have too many. It is that kind of standard mantra of quality with quantity. The more that you get and the better that they are, the more that that's going to help. I mean, if anybody thinks about it just on a standard human level, everything we do is almost guided by reviews at this point. You look up something on Amazon, how many reviews does it get? You want to hire a landscaping service. What kind of reviews did they get? Hey, we're going to go to a restaurant this evening. What kind of reviews did it get? Everything is based on that. Law firms are no different. We have to get reviews. It is critical at this point. The other side of it is local location signals. So we have to make sure that everything is succinct, that everything is matched up. One of the things that our link building team does, is almost audit everything. Even if somebody and a law firm comes to us and they assume that they already have their Google business profile listing, we want to make sure that everything is done properly. Even if there's the most minor of differences between, let's say, a listing on Google that might be different than what's on Bing or something like that, even if it's a suite number or how that suite number looks, Google can see it for right or wrong as trying to take two bites of the same apple. So we have to make sure that all the contact information is up to date, that everything matches up properly, and most importantly, that we actually have the local citations that are needed, the local links that are needed. Next part of that would probably be the helpful website content. Again, it's content that's actually written by humans that has true experience and actual real insights. Who knows better than law firms themselves that are going through cases, that are, fighting cases and litigating cases that can actually speak to that firsthand information. It's funny, not funny, but I always tell all of our clients, where do you think AI is getting this information from? So somebody has to be the source. Somebody has to be the origin of that. So we have to, as humans, produce that helpful content and write that content. And there's no more important way than having that really guided, helpful use of that. And then the fourth, the last probably portion of it is third party listings, mentions, brand mentions, getting your links. It's again funny, not funny, but there was always and always has been this kind of standard mantra of like, is link building dead? And it never has died. It's never been one of those things where again, it goes back to what I mentioned before, ironically, about the reviews. It's quality within quantity. So the more that you get, the more brand mentions, the more information you can get yourself out there. It's almost like advertising for yourself. So the more that we can get that and the more we can get that brand recognition, that's what the AI models and the AI agents are actually looking for.
And it's funny because again, it's something that we should just want to mention here. These things that we're talking about, reviews, human content, links, good up-to-date contact information, this isn't new. So if you listen to our very first podcast, if you read our blogs from 15 years ago, a lot of the stuff we've been saying overall. So it's not that the game is changing. It's that the things we've been telling you for the past few years and any other good marketing agency has been telling you for years, they're more important than ever. So just please understand that this is not, oh no, I need to completely redo my strategy unless you haven't been doing these things all along. Now it's just putting more emphasis on things like reviews, content, and all of that. So, like I said, don't feel that the game has changed completely. It's just more emphasis and more significance on what it is that we're doing.
Yeah, that's very, very well summarized, Nancy. Very well said. Yeah.
All right. So we've talked about that. It's kind of along the lines of what we've been talking about when it comes to SEO and content marketing and things like that. But what Google Ads opportunities are going to be changing with this for law firms?
Yeah, it's going to be ads, ads, ads. AI mode's going to be the default. Google's not going to throw away its billion-dollar business of serving up ads. So ads are coming to they're going to incorporate it a few different ways. This is actually from their own blog post. One is going to be conversational ads. So if you're asked it a question, it's going to converse with you and put ads in there. So just be aware of that. Assuming they're going to note those. There's also going to be highlighted answer ads to where it answers another question, shows up ads probably below or above it. There's all going to be specific shopping ads. Probably doesn't apply to law firms too much, but there are going to be business lead ads too. And short, basically a lot of ads are coming to AI. So just note that when you're using AI mode, or which will be the default mode, there's going to be ads intermixed with all that.
Mhm. Yeah.
Be breaking it down a little bit further, Alex.
Yeah, again, not to reiterate anything that Pete just mentioned, but like the conversational discovery ads, as they're calling them, it's essentially your ads answer someone's specific question. So Google's basically tying into their own model, their AI model of Gemini, and it's going to build out tailored ads for that search. So it's going to highlight very specific, relevant features that you might ask as a question. So it's really that simple, but it's very dynamic. It's very, again, just the way that it actually is tailored to what somebody actually might be searching for. So when you go through any sort of specific question at all, it might actually cherry pick out like specific things within that question that says you might like this, you might like that. And then the ads are actually going to be served that way. So as Pete mentioned, there is no way that Google is going to let this affect their billion-dollar industry. If anything, to your point, Nancy, it's going to heighten it. It's going to bolster it. It's going to make it that much more tailored and specific. The highlighted answers, again, that one kind of again ties into when people are searching, they want helpful suggestions. So let's say somebody doesn't know like the specifics about something. Let's say they're kind of on the fence, or they're really just looking at it from gaining knowledge. What Google's going to do is they're going to have highly relevant and high quality ads that kind of are eligible to like highlight within what those answers are. So let's say again, I think Google themselves say, let's say you're going on a trip and you're looking up, as they put it, the best language apps for their upcoming trip. You might have no idea which ones are the best ones, But what they're going to do is then highlight ads for those specific things that might not even be a question. It might just be more on a curiosity level for someone to gain knowledge, and then ads are going to be served for that.
And the formatting of the ads is going to be changing as well. So, Allison, could you dictate some of the types of ads that we'll be seeing?
Yeah, Google, they've announced AI powered shopping ads. So this is right Google's effort to kind of kill decision fatigue, right? Make choosing easier when you're shopping for something. So say you're looking for like a coffee machine. Gemini is going to pull up the most recent products and instantly writes a little kind of explainer sentence that highlights, why your product might be ideal. So I don't know, for a coffee machine, maybe it says it's quiet, it doesn't use plastic, whatever those descriptors are. But what might even be more relevant for law firms is the business agent for leads they've announced. So this change in ads puts what Google is calling a smart brand agent directly into your ad. So instead of filling out like a static form and then waiting for someone to submit a response to that, which hopefully you're doing very quickly, but users will be able to click basically like a chat icon and get an instant answer that the bot is like pulling from your website. So it's kind of, appealing to that instant gratification and being able to get an answer quite quickly without maybe necessarily having to like read through everything. So we think, the goal here is to turn a practical interaction into like more of like a very instant quick lead.
Types of ads do we think is going to be most similar to the law firm ones? Pete, you saw some examples out there that are going to be similar.
Yeah, we've actually already started seeing it in the dental area to where ads are actually appearing similar to map pack ads. So at the end of the AI search results in AI mode, you'll just throw an ad into the bottom of it. We saw it with a bunch of dental queries. We haven't seen it with a legal one yet, but I'm assuming it's going to come very quickly. So those are more the business lead ones that are just being put into the overall query when someone's typing it in. That's probably the easiest way for Google to do it initially without too much blowback from, hey, you're stuffing results into my actual answer queries.
So to be continued with those types of ads. We'll be seeing them as they come out, and stay tuned to People Streets podcast and blog for more of those. All right. So let's go back to SEO a little bit more, because we talked about the broad principles, but let's just talk about how your combined efforts. So like what Google SEO and AI SEO opportunities will still exist.
Yeah, there's a lot of opportunities right now. Traditionally, there's traditional search, I should say. That's where you have the search results that are mixed in with ads at the top, search results, ads at the bottom, more search results, and kind of ongoing to get to page 2 and beyond. Nowadays, there's going to be the AI opportunity to have your ad in the traditional search and also AI search. And so if someone's asking a question for best law firms in Orlando or best estate planning firms in Stuart, Florida, or wherever, you'll want to be listed in AI search results. So it's a tremendous opportunity for those clients. If you're not ranking right now, reset. Figure out ways to get reviews, get branded mentions, update your website more FAQs, and you can get into the AI search. We've seen it done. There are a lot of clients who overlap though. They already have years. They've been in business for 10 years. They have those branded mentions in various magazines, publications, online, things like that. They've been doing PR for a while. They have backlinks. They have reviews. Traditionally, what we've seen is those clients are fine. They're ranking in AI search and they're ranking in traditional search. Awesome. Great. Good for them. There are clients who aren't ranking in traditional search, but they're ranking in AI search because of those branded mentions. And there's clients who are ranking in traditional search and not ranking in AI search because they've basically been gaming the system with SEO for years. Shouldn't say gaming, but they've been doing a lot more backlink building, a lot more on-page content and not off-site signals, such as reviews and reviews and PR mentions and so forth. So it's just a great opportunity. And you're going to see firms that didn't used to get leads start getting leads because they're going to be the ones listed in AI search result. You're going to see firms that, are still the heavy hitters in the industry in the areas, and they're still going to get their leads because they've done everything right over the last decade.
Yeah, I would add on to that, as we mentioned earlier, it those that are doing SEO almost have like a kind of a maturity, if you will, almost like a wine. There's something where they've invested in their site, they've invested in the aspects of what all the items that you mentioned, Nancy, where it really is bolstering and a significant boost to what they've already been doing. And so to Pete's point that he just made, that can help, but it's not too late for those that haven't done it. I mean, again, this is where, and I can't stress this enough, reviews matter. Reviews matter. Something like that. If a brand new firm, somebody, just out of law school that opened up their brand new firm or something, they get a wonderful amount of reviews. They're killing it from a law firm perspective. They're just wonderful humans to work with. People love leaving them reviews. Then that gives you also that chance to get into the race. The PR side of it, the brand mentions, the press releases, the links, that again is, think of it as advertising for yourself, for your firm. The more that you get that, the more that those can bolster and again, overall, I think improve what or tie into what the agents are looking for, the AI or agents are looking for. It's always, again, that model that Google has not been bashful about, which is ostensibly saying, why you? Why you? Why your firm? Why do you matter? So the more that you can help them say, here's why we matter, here's the links, here's the brand mentions, here's the PR, the better that does. The helpful content, one of the other things that I would add on to that is that FAQs matter. Answer questions. Again, Google has not been bashful about this. There has always been in the traditional search what has been known and seen as the people also ask. It's questions that are saying, if you're searching for this, someone is looking for that. Answer that. Answer these other questions. They're essentially spoon feeding. And so when we then look at those other questions, anybody's website should not have content that is just, content that is for the sake of producing a large website. It needs to be quality content. It needs to be pruned. It needs to be, really focused in on the question and the responses that tie into what matters most for the firm. So again, it really goes back to having the quality of what you want, both on like reviews and the PR and on FAQs, but honing in on getting a good amount of that quality.
Right.
Yeah,
And it's
I see this
about
all the time because, sorry, I was just going to say that I talk to a lot of our clients where they'll have this mindset of, oh, we just need a website to prove we exist, or, oh, we're fine, we're a word of mouth law firm. And the thing is that AI is quickly becoming a way of life. So AI is, people are getting more used to it, people are talking into it and things like that. So all of these firms that are kind of just being stagnant, if you're not getting the reviews, you're not getting the PR, you're not getting the content, it's going to be a more of an enormity to tackle all of these things when you realize that society is going to be this reliant on AI. So again, for those firms that you make appointments with me, you talk to me and you tell me that, oh, I don't need marketing. You're going to have to realize that it's not just going to be about appearing number one on Google anymore. It's going to be everybody who's using that AI to just get information, gather information, collect information. So again, it's really important that you take the time to consider how all of these firms are getting all of this, all of the content, all of the backlinks, all of the PR, all of that, because at some point, if you wake up one day and don't have all of that, you're going to be even further in the pack than you were, 6 months ago. All right, that was my
yeah.
little soapbox. But Allison, could you talk about what else we can expect as well?
Yeah, I don't want to repeat, what you guys have said, but it's so true. So maybe it deserves repeating, right? We're looking here at it's like the big picture. We expect the law firms that will succeed kind of in this new phase of search, this new world. They're going to be the ones that are focusing on like overall authority. And that means a little bit of everything that we've talked about. Real content written, right? Written by a human, right? Use your robot to help with your research, to maybe help you optimize it, maybe even help you edit it or choose a cool headline, but it needs to come from you. Focusing on, right, the PR, the FAQs, the local, the multimedia, the reviews. So it's really looking at everything as a whole and not just, this one particular facet.
Like I said, this is a change. If Google's announcing this change, the way that society became reliant on search engines, society will become reliant on AI and using it to that ability. So if we had to take, each of us provide one takeaway, what would our takeaway be? So what would this impact your law firm's marketing? Pete, you want to start?
Yeah, I'll start. You should run a comprehensive audit right away on your current AI rankings. Get as many reviews and brand mentions in the next 30, 60 days. And then we've seen almost every AI mode search result. The top results have the most reviews. The next result has the next most, and so forth. So get reviews, get mentions on other websites. If you have the most reviews, you have the most mentions, you're going to be doing well in AI search.
Yeah. My take to answer very bluntly and directly is again to not reiterate what Pete mentioned, but the overall perspective that we have here at Paper Street remains the same as you summarized earlier, Nancy. It remains the same. It's the strong fundamentals that continue to support what Google and AI is looking for. Those fundamentals are everything that we've all just continued to mention. They tie in directly to SEO. So again, those that have been kind of investing in SEO, that's probably the proper word, investing in SEO, already have a little bit of a leg up. But those that haven't been yet have that opportunity to tie into those fundamentals and then just become what the AI agents are looking for.
Yeah. Don't, samesies, don't panic. It's all going to look different, but the foundation you've been working on remains the same. It'll be familiar and it'll be, just like normal before we all know it.
My last little takeaway to this would be it's sort of what Pete said about getting an audit. Don't just hear what we're saying and like start assigning your intern or your team to start generating content, to start getting PR mentions, to start getting reviews, things like that. Take a breather and talk to a reputable agency, hopefully Paper Street, but somebody that can help you outline it. Like we have a review collecting tool that'll make your life easier. Let that be a part of the puzzle. Get examples from a reputable agency of what your content should look like. Don't write 10 pages of content that may not actually be the right format. Don't just stick your name in press releases for the sake of spending all that money to appear in PR and Newswire. Talk to somebody that actually knows what we're saying here, so that way you have an effective marketing strategy and not spending time, energy, and dollars on things that you heard this sounds good. Let's just go and run with it. Make sure that you're talking to somebody that actually can help you tailor this in a way that makes sense. And like I said, we're always here to do that. Again, all of our team here is here happy to help and explain all of this to you further. All right. Well, thank you, Alex. Thank you, Pete. Thank you, Allison. We thank you to our audience for listening. Stay tuned because we will be providing more podcasts and blogs as this continues to develop. Because, like I said, the world's changing a little bit, but we've been kind of aware this has been happening for over 10 years now and telling you what you needed to do. So we'll be here to tell you what to do for the next 25 years. Until then, thanks for listening, everybody.
Thank you all.
Thank you.